Hey everybody, it's me. I'm here to do a review on the Fitbit Surge. Because there's a lot of things that I've read, and heart rate monitor is not consistent. Nothing. I mean, the battery life is low, all that good stuff. Well, I'm gonna give you my biased opinion about it, and hopefully it'll either A, prevent you from getting it, or B, you're going to go out and buy it. Alright, so let's just get to it. I mean, we all know what's in the box. You get a charger, you get the toggle. Big whoop. Website interface, pretty good. I liked it. Pretty easy to navigate around. Now, I'm just going to get to the gist of it. Let's just get into the Fitbit Surge. So, like I said, I bought this product on January 16th. It's now, I don't know, I think it's February 1st. I used the product, the Surge, for about 4 or 5 days. I noticed that my battery life was dismal. I would have to constantly, every day and a half, put it on charge when Fitbit says, battery life 5 to 7 days. Every day and a half, it's quite a difference. While working out, the heart rate monitor portion of it would constantly cut out, especially during weight training. And I always made sure, I would even move it up and down on the wrist, and I always made sure that my wrist wasn't flexing so it could constantly get that heart rate. Didn't do it. I put it up against my Polar FT7, and my Polar, quite honestly, outperformed it. Obviously, it kept my heart rate, told me exactly where it was, where, I could be running, and my heart rate's at 150 with the Polar. I was lucky on the Surge if it was either registering or if it was over 100 beats per minute. Now, there's no way in hell that that's even possible, when I'm breathing heavy, sweating my ass off, and I'm only not even at 100 beats per minute with the Surge. But for some strange reason, the calorie counter, which I really don't like in any product because I think they're all completely off. But the funny thing is that even at 90 beats per minute or under 100 beats per minute, it for some reason said I burnt the same amount of calories as my heart rate at 135 or 150 as my Polar. Thought that was a little odd. So needless to say, I ended up taking the product back because I figured maybe there was something wrong with this one. So I wanted to give Fitbit a fair shot. So I took it back, exchanged, and got another one. I had that one until today, to be exact. Obviously, from that comment that I just made, it didn't go too well. Same problems. Heart rate constantly cut it in and out. Would not keep up during cardio. The only time this thing actually kept up was basically when I was resting or doing light cardio. Any extreme exercise or weight training or anything like that, you're lucky if it even registered. Now again, with this one, I followed all their steps. I kept the 2 fingers up the wrist, moved it constantly up. But here's the problem. An hour workout would take 2 hours now because I'm constantly, for both products, both of them, I would constantly have to move it up and down my wrist just to get a heart rate. When my Polar, consistent all the time. Again, and then the step counter on it, I mean, it's a fad, people. Just get your ass up and work out. Do 20 minutes a day, a half hour a day. You don't need to do these step things. Anyways, I tried the step thing. I even had the step thing in my phone. So I wanted to see from my phone to this how it works. Well, the step counter sucks. It wouldn't start counting, and then when it did, again, it would stop while you're walking or running. Whereas the phone, it constantly kept going, and I had the S5. so it would constantly keep going, where Fitbit would, again, just stop. You know, basically, in a nutshell, people, the Fitbit is a glorified watch. You know, if you want to spend $250 on a glorified watch that isn't going to do anything else for you, you know, besides had horrible battery life, and both of them that I had, a day and a half tops, I had to constantly recharge this thing. And I didn't have any of the notifications on. I didn't have Bluetooth on. I had the heart rate set to auto, which that's a joke and a half. Sorry to say. That doesn't work for shit. So I had everything how Fitbit would say to save your battery, and a day and a half later, battery's toast. Unfortunately, this was my second choice. My first choice was the Basis Peak. There's an obvious reason why that thing sold out everywhere. The manufacturer is even sold out. So there's a reason for that. And, you know, you kind of look at that and, you know, whereas Fitbit, it's just available anywhere you go. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to check out the Basis Peak. Do not waste your $250 on getting the Surge. It's a piece of junk. You won't be happy with it unless you're just going to walk around or just sit there and you want to see what your resting heart rate is. Otherwise, it's garbage, guys. Don't waste your money.